Today on Coffee and Conversation with your girl Shakenya. When you get a minute, go to that YouTube channel Shakenya and hit subscribe, guys. Look at some of the videos, and if you see anything that you like, just hit share. Quit playing, y'all. Damn. Quit playing with me. So y'all, today I'm gonna be real quick. Question: did you raise your kids? Think about that now. Did somebody else raise them for you? Most importantly, that somebody raised them, because if somebody raised them, whether you raise them or not, they're gonna respect you regardless. So yeah, that's not even the question. Or did they just grow up on their own? Just put a video game in front of them, watch TV raised them. I mean, yeah, did you actually put hands on these children, your children, and other people? I would hope that you would pour into other people's children if you had the opportunity to. Like, my house was the hangout house, and I'm going to just talk brief. The hangout house when the boys was coming up, so all their friends was at my house growing up. And do you know, as a result of, they still have some of those same relationships with those same young men that they grew up with. And my boys are in their 30s now. I know. Yep. So, yeah, did you instill discipline? Did you instill discipline in your kids? Yeah, meaning that you punish them for everything that they did. Like, you ain't let them get away with nothing. And what form of discipline did you use? Was it punishment? Was it whoopings? Was it taking electronic devices? And it's very important that your mate is on the same page. Your baby mama, your baby daddy, especially y'all done broke up. Yeah, whatever form of discipline you use in this house, it has to be used in the same house. That's part of that balance that we talked about. Yeah, remember I told you balance, it's a whole lot that comes with balance. That's one of them, keeping a balance. Yeah, so discipline, instilling discipline. Now, what throws everything off, what I tell you on those manipulation tips is never telling that baby no. Going against you all the time. Allowing that baby to do stuff that you know good and damn well they ain't supposed to do. If y'all was together, you wouldn't let the baby do it. That's why it's a manipulation tip. Because if y'all was still together, it's certain things that parent probably allowed that child to do that they probably wouldn't let them do if y'all was still together. I know. So yeah, discipline. Did you have routine? Did you raise that child up around a routine? Yeah, we got up at I still get up at 5:30 in the morning. For no apparent reason. Other than it's an inside alarm clock, because I'm so used to getting up and taking kids to school that 5:30 was the magic number for us. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's very important. That's very important. Let me see, because I'm going to try to stick to script. What are some of the things that you did to ensure a particular outcome with your children? Because if you raise them, that means you're putting a lot of time and effort into actually raising them. You know, you're talking them through stuff. Like, for instance, are you the type of parent that if you tell your child to do something, and if they don't do it right, instead of you taking the time to go over it and go over it and go over it until they get it, you do it for them? I'm just asking. I'm not here to judge. I'm just asking. I know they be in my office like, Miss Warlaw. No wire hanger. Yeah, I'm just asking. And let me tell you what the outcome of that's going to be. Yeah. If you stay on them and continue to work with them until they actually get it right, they learn how to do it for themselves. But if you do it for them, then what? What's that? What? You say it. Go on, you say it. They ain't going to learn. And they're going to always expect you to do it for them. See the outcome of that? Yep. So raising them, taking the time out to instill certain things. Like, for instance, some of the things that you want. Me, I feel like communication is very important. To make it in this day and age, you got to learn how to speak effectively. And you got to learn how to speak effectively to others, right? So, don't talk to yourself. But... and if you do find yourself talking to yourself, make sure you seek mental health treatment. Yep. Hey, Jay Barnes, how you doing, baby? What up, Jason? So for me, communication is very important. So the importance of teaching your child how to speak, interacting with them, talking to them. That means you can't have them in front of the screen all day. Yeah, you actually got to converse with these children. You got to talk to them. You got to find out how their day is. And then they got to trust you enough to want to come and talk to you. So you got to make them feel comfortable. So that was one thing my mama used to do. I know I used to tell y'all, and I already told y'all my mama used to use drugs, and she did, but she wasn't high all the time. So the times that she was sober, she would do some things that were motherly, and one of them was, whatever she did, she made me feel comfortable enough to talk to her about anything. Yeah, I never felt judged. She always gave good advice. She always made me feel like she knew where I was coming from and what I meant. She understood. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I said, if I ever become a mom, that's going to be one thing that I do when it comes to my children. I'm going to make sure that my kids feel comfortable talking to me. Always come to me first. If there's ever a problem, if you ever going through something, I've always done it. So let me tell you what I did for the boys. Because remember, we're talking about the time and effort that you put into parenting, right? So let me tell you what I did for the boys. For the boys, I've always talked to them daily, like I did with the girls. How y'all doing? How was y'all day? I try to tell them a little bit about my day as if they're interested. They didn't care, but we tried it. Not been every day, because boys is boys. You know what I mean? But I also created a safe space for the boys. And I titled it Family Meeting. So every so many months, we would have a family meeting. And this is when the boys were able to speak their mind. They were able to say whatever it is they wanted to say, whatever was going on with them. Sometimes cussing was involved if need be. I tried to make sure they didn't cuss, but at that time, that was the only time they were able to express themselves. I've been looking at the TikTok, how they've been putting these kids in the bathroom and closing the door and telling them to say a bad word. Don't do that. Don't do that. But then I think back when I used to have a safe space for the boys, the family meetings, it was a couple times when they did use profanity, And they wasn't allowed to do it outside of that, but if they was that angry, that frustrated, they was going through that much aggression, and if that was the only way to let it out, I allowed it for that little family meeting, right? So the girls, we had daily car conversations. So as soon as they got in the car, they would have to tell me how their day went, one at a time. From the time I dropped you off, from the time you went to your locker, from the time you went to your first hour, from the time you went to lunch, from the time you was in the hall. Break it down for mama. Let mama know how your day went. You had any problems with anybody, that you run into any run-ins with anybody, you know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can talk about that, handle that, before it get out of control, whatever the case may be, right? So we had that. That's a little easier, I guess, probably because we're girls, you know what I mean? So we yeah. So that's very important. But you see how much time and effort was put into that? So the outcome of that would be what? Hey, Miss Vicky. Yes, ma'am. You will have a good relationship and good communication with your... Nope, I'm driving my little brother's car. Yep, the 29th, though. I'm going to have some wheels on the 29th. I'm betting on the 29th, Miss Vicky. Yeah, buddy. Yep, y'all. Lil J done came through for me, y'all. I cannot tell y'all how it makes me feel as a parent to know that I've instilled so much in that young man, for him to be there for me like he is right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. So, y'all, communication. So, yep, the outcome of that is you should have a good communication with your adult children. So if this is something that you did all the way from them being little kids all the way up, talking to them, having a good open line of communication, yeah, when they become adults, you should have a good relationship with your children and good communication. That's the outcome. Hey, baby, how you doing? That's the outcome, right? So if you don't have that, something ain't right. And if you don't have that, that means it's somebody else that's meddling. Usually it's that other parent over there manipulating and playing them trips that we talk about. I know. So that was it, the open line of communication. And I think for the boys, if I told you that, so the outcome would be that. And I think that was it, y'all, that I want to touch on. Nope. Also, I want some of the things that you want to teach your kids. Like, have you ever thought about teaching your kids the things that you wish somebody taught you in certain stages of life? I know this is a long one today, y'all. Yeah, like... See, with your children, that's why when I tell y'all every 10 years, it should be some type of shift to me as far as our children and how we raising them and certain things that we instill in them to where, like now, we should be at this, I'm 50 years old. Shit, we should own gas stations. We should have grocery stores. We should own all of Detroit. Everything should be ours. We should own everything. Not excluding other people that own stuff, but we should own it too. Because the shift should have changed in so many years to where that's what our kids should be on. You know what I mean? So they should be making that difference for us, right? So, it was very important that I taught my children about credit early. The importance of credit, how to obtain credit, how to maintain credit. It's very important that your children know the importance of credit. Yeah. It was important for me to open up those bank accounts for my kids and put my name on it before they was able to get them for themselves, right? For business purposes. First of all, they was working for me, right? And that's a good way for them to track their money and teach them money management skills. So it's very important that I taught them all that at once when it came to credit, right? It's very important for me to teach them about home ownership. Your home is an asset. Yeah. Build equity up in your home, right? So it's very important that you teach your children about ownership. Yeah. So if you teach your children about ownership, it's less likely. Let me go back to credit. Teach them about credit, they'll have good credit. That's the outcome, right? Teach them about home ownership, it's less likely they're gonna pay a landlord. It's less likely they're gonna do that. It's most likely they're gonna own property. That's the outcome of that. When you teach them early and you let them know the importance of, in most cases it click. They become homeowners, right? And it was very important that I teach them about entrepreneurship. Yeah, along with working a 9 to 5. Sometimes you got to use that 9 to 5 to be an entrepreneur. Hear me? So yeah, it was very important that I teach them about business, right? I went as early as teaching them how selling candy at school. They used to sell candy bags at school, the girls did, and the boys used to cut grass and shovel snow to hustle and make their little money. So y'all, that's it for Coffee and Conversations. Your girl Shakenya, just wondering if you got the outcome that you wanted as far as what you done instilled in your babies. Yep. And y'all, that's it. I'm out.